quick example of constructing a confidence interval using the theory-based inference applet. So here's an homework example problem. It says we have a survey that 19 people were asked how much they spent on their child's last birthday gift. The results were roughly bell-shaped, meaning it's normal, and it had a mean of $41 and a standard deviation of $15. Here it's telling us to use the theory-based inference applet, and it wants us to use a confidence level of 80%. So the first thing, we're going to ask ourselves, do we have categorical or quantitative data? Because that's going to dictate the options that we select in the applet. Here we see it's asking for a mean, okay, or it tells us when they took the sample, they took a mean of the amount spent on the birthday gift. So that means we have quantitative data. That means we're dealing with mu's and x bars. So then in order to determine if we're looking at one or two parameters, you're going to ask yourself, well, how many samples did I take? If I take one sample, it means I'm interested in one population. If I take two samples, it means I'm interested in two population parameters. I just took one sample. This survey means I took a sample, so we have one. We already established that we're dealing with x bars and mu's. My sample size is 19. And so in these kind of problems, it's going to give us the standard deviation of the 19 samples. That's $15. And it told us that the mean of those 19 people was $41. So that's x bar equals $41. And then we have 80%. So it wants us to figure out the confidence interval, but we need to figure out what do we input into the tool. All right, well, here I'm just going to put my sample size 19. I'm going to put my x bar of 41. I'm going to put my standard deviation of 15 here. Make sure that you select confidence interval. Previously, we were selecting test of significance. You need to check confidence interval in the applet, and we're going to put 80% here. I'm going to go into the applet, and I'll pull that up. We go down to theory-based inference. We are going to select one mean. We're going to put in 19. We're going to put 41. We're going to put 15. And then here, just again, be careful. We need to select confidence interval, and this needs to reflect what the problem is asking, 80% in this case. Make sure you click these calculate buttons. And then that's what we have. It automatically calculates it for us. I'm just going to cut and paste this. All right. So what that does is it gives us the confidence interval in what we call interval form. It gives us the low end of the interval, 36.4218, 45.5782. Remember, this is the dollar amount for the birthday gift. So it says here, we are 80% confident that the average or the mean amount that all people spent on their child's last birthday gift, mu, was between $36.42, and I would round this to $45.58. 36.42. We already established the sample statistic is x bar, $41. The margin of error. Okay, the margin of error is the distance from the center. The center is always, in this case, this is my x bar. It's the distance from the center to this upper limit, 45.558, and the distance here, 36.42. All right, so the margin of error is going to be just the distance between those two. 45.58 minus 41. That's going to give me $4.58. All right, I could have figured out this and taken 41 minus 36.42. That should also give me $4.58. 458. So now we converted. Here is our interval method, right? Between $36.42 and $45.52. And then we wrote it in our margin of error form. X bar plus or minus the margin of error. So we did it both ways.